Okay, I have the solution here for, I'll give you the solution for review for the sample form after the class. Okay. For those who brought back the exam, I have your exam here. So I will. So for the ones who just gave me the exam today, I will grade it and then I will bring back to you on Monday. So there's some few guys who. Yeah. Okay. For the other guys, I'll give it to you on Monday. So I'll go grade this one and then I'll bring it back on Monday. So the exam was not that very hard, but it was a little bit tricky. Let me get it. Are you done with it now? I need it before we start the class. So how many questions are there?
It's just one.
One?
Yeah.
Okay, So try completing it right now. Okay, let's see how the exam was. It was not so. Sit here. You guys see that? Okay, so the first question here. So this is just like multiplication. So it's like you multiply this one. Okay. So what you can do first, you can multiply the coefficients here or the constant here, which is -5 multiplied by 2 multiplied by what? 6. Okay. So that is the first thing. And then now multiply these variables here, which are what? X raised to 6, x raised to -4, x raised to -3, y raised to 5. And then you do, you now use the properties that we did. If the bases are the same, then you do what the power. You add, right? So you add. So multiply first this one. So this is -5, so this 2 is -10, multiplied by 6 is 60. So -60. -60. Then the next one here is x. You do what? The bases are the same. You add the powers. So 6 -4 -3. And then y is only y raised to 5. So 6 -4 is 2. 2 -3 is 1. So basically this is equal to -60. X raised to -1. Y raised to 1. So I say only positive exponent. Use only positive exponents. Exponents. Only positive exponents. So when I say exponents, it's like e raised to something. So you take the positive one. That means you bring this one where? Down, right? So this is equal to -60 y raised to 5 all over what? Some of you were taking this -60 down here. This is not an exponent. So you cannot take this one down here and then you play it should be positive. No, you don't do like that. So you just only the what? The exponent. The exponent. Okay. So that was it. That was it. The next one here, if you remember, I say if you have the root of A all over the root of B, this is the same as the root of A all over what? Right? Right? So when you have these ones, the fourth root are the same, right? So it is similar to 5. The fourth root of 5r raised to 4 all over what? 8r. Very similar to that. Very similar to that. Which you can still write this as 5. The fourth root of what? 5 all over 8. And then this is r. You take this r here. So it will be r4 -2. So r. You can leave it like this. It was just simple like that. You just leave it like that. You don't have to waste your time doing something else. You just leave it. And you're good. You leave it like that, you're okay. Or you can write this as 5, the fourth root of 5r squared. All over what? The fourth root of 8. And then you do what?
Multiply by 2 square root of 2.
So how can you remove the fourth root of 8 there? So this is similar to 5, the fourth root of 5r squared, all over 8 raised to what? 1 over 4, right? Right? So how can we make this one to only be 8? We multiply by what? 8 raised to what? 3 over 4 in, so you multiply here by 8 raised to 3 over 4, then all over 8 raised to 3 over 4, right? Right? You find the conjugate here. The conjugate. Okay. So when you multiply this and this, it will just be what? 8 1 over 4 plus 3 over 4 is what? Is 1, right? So it is 8, which is 8. So basically, this is the same as 5, 4, and then 5 r squared. And then this will now be the fourth root of 8 raised to what? 3. All over what? All over. You can write it like that.
Isn't 2 or 8 is the same as 2 cubed? And then you can just multiply by the square root of 2 and then that would make the bottom one 2.
Yeah, you can do the same way. So, but you don't have to complicate it.
Okay.
Do not complicate it. Just write it like that. And then you want to make that 8 to just be what? You remove the radical. You remove the radical at the denominator. And you can leave it like this, or you just leave it like this, or this one. I was expecting the 3 answers. So this, or this. This again, it is similar to multiplying a plus b, and then what? And then maybe c plus what? Plus d, right? So when you're multiplying a plus b and then c plus d, you do what? You expand, right? So you can write this one as a, c plus d plus d, c plus d. And then you do what? You now expand. So it was not that hard. So you can use this to multiply this one. Okay. So you can say 3x squared multiplied to the cube root of x minus 1 plus the cube root of x squared to the cube root of x minus 1. And then you do what? You expand. Then you expand. So once you expand this, then this will just be 6x squared, the cube root of x, minus this one, 3x squared, plus 2, the cube root of x squared multiplied by the cube root of x minus the cube root of x squared. Now, looking at this, right? So this can be x, the cube root of x squared multiplied by what? X, right? So the cube root of x squared, the cube root of x is the same as the cube root of x squared multiplied by x. And this is the same as the cube root of x cubed. The cube root of x cubed is what? X. So basically this is x, 6x squared, the cube root of x, minus 3x squared, plus now 2, and this is x, then minus the cube root of. So it was like that. Okay. The next one here, solve the expression by rationalizing the denominator. how do you rationalize the denominator? You multiply by what? 5 the root of 6 minus 4 the root of 2 all over 5 the root of 6. The easiest thing was here was 2 the root of 5 minus 3 the root of 7. Multiply by 5 the root of 6 minus 4 the root of 2. All over 1. This is a difference of 2 squares. So you just say 5 the root of 6 square minus 4 the root of 2 square. Simply like that. So that's simple. So you see, it's only 5 marks. So if you just leave it with this, you're good. You get your full answer. If you simplify, you're also good. You get your full answer. Okay. So this is like 150, and this is like what 30 or something. So this is 4 multiplied, 16 multiplied by. So to get a square here, this is what? 25 multiplied by what? 6, right? The square here is minus 16 multiplied by 2. So 150 minus 32 is 118. So basically, this all over 150. That was the answer. Okay. Solve this. So this what was not that tricky. So I said you put the radicals on one side. You check the other ones to the other side. So when you put the radicals on one side, what do you do here? You divide both sides by what? 5. So the equals to x minus 6 all over 1. Then you do what? You get the what? The square of this. So when you get a square here, so it will be x equals to x minus 6 all over 5. All these are all that square. So basically this is equals to x minus 6 square all over what? All over 2. And this is equals to what? X square minus 12x plus 36 all over. Then you take 25x equals x square minus 12x plus 30. And then you take this 25 to the other side. So you get x square minus what? This would be 31. 37x plus 6 equals to 0. Simply, that is, you use the AC, but the product is 36 and the sum is minus 37. So 36 and what? And negative 36 and what? And 1. So, and your answer there should be 1 and same thing applies here. So you take this one to the other side. So you get the x square minus 2 equals to what? The root of x plus 4. So to remove. So basically this is like x square minus 2 raised to 1 over 2 equals to x plus 4 raised to 1 over 2. To remove the half that you multiply by square in each one of them, you get x square minus 2 equals to x plus what? 4. Then you get the value of x square. So it forms a quadratic equation which is the same as x square minus x minus 6 equals to 0. So you get the values of x with the values of x. Okay, number 10 was, so this was the application. So if you understood very well what we are doing, then you could apply this one so easily. Now, if you look at this, write down the coordinates of the vertex of the curve of F. Then the coordinate of the vertex. The vertex is where it is what is turning, right? The top, if it is like this, then it should be the top bar, the top part, and then if it is like this, then it is down there. So the vertex, we get it from what? H. That is the vertex. So to get the vertex here, you still remember that f of x equals to a x minus h. So that's what. Right? Right? So now, in this case, what is our h? Is it a positive or a negative? Positive, right? So our h here is 4. What is our k? 8. So that's simple like that. Now, given that f of 7, x is what? 7, right? F of 7 equals to minus 10. It means we substitute the value of x here to be 7, so it will be f of 7 equals to a 7 minus 4, then you square, plus 8 is equals to negative 10. Is equals to negative 10. Okay? Is equals to negative 10. So this is the same as a, and then this is what? 3. Then you square plus 8 equals to 4. So this is 9a plus, so you take 8 to the other side, it becomes minus what? 18, right? So our a is equals to minus 8 is equals to. Now, you have found a. So you have now f of x equals, you know, a is minus 2. So minus 2, and then x minus 4 square plus what? Plus 8. Okay? So you already have the a there. So to find the y-intercept, what do you do? Let x to be equals to what? X to be equals to. So f of 0 here equals to minus 2. 0, 0 minus 4 is minus 4, then you square plus 8. Plus 8. So this is equals to minus 2, and then this is what? 16 plus 8. And this is the same as what? Minus 32 plus 8, which is giving us what? Minus what? So our y-intercept is what? 0 and minus. So simple, right? Solve this. So again, this one was easy because this is the same as the root of -1, the root of 25 multiplied by 2 plus this is the root of -1, the root of 9 multiplied by 2, root of 9 multiplied by 2, right? So the root of -1 is what? I. The root of 25 is what? 5i. The root of 2 is the root of 2. Plus, this is the root of -1 is I. The root of 9 is 3i. The root of what? 2. You factor out what? The root of 2. So when you factor out the root of 2, then it means 5i plus 3i is equals to what? 8i. The root of 8i. Then when you factor now this one in here, then this is negative 6i. I multiplied by I is -1, right? I multiplied by I is equal to. So basically this is negative what? 8. So it was just 6i minus 8. That was okay. This one I insisted that A should be the AC method, B should be the quadratic formula, and C to be the completing square. I was a little bit generous. So some of you were the one which, like this one, they were using quadratic formula. And I say use the completing squares. So if it was like that, if you change the method, I could have given you a 0. But I was like, okay, since you've done it, let me give you some marks. But if in your final exam, you get something like that, which is specific, if you don't use the correct method, you might get a 0. You might get a 0 in that. So if it is an AC method, you remember that the product is AC, the sum is. If it is a quadratic formula, then in this case, this is y equals to minus b plus or minus the square. This one minus 4 is all about. If, for instance, this one, it was a little bit tricky. What you do first, you make the coefficient of x squared to be what? To be 1. What do you do here? You divide everywhere by what? The negative. So you get x squared minus 6x minus 18 equals to. And then you take this one to the other side. You take the constant to the other side. So x squared minus 6x equals to what? 18. And then now you take half, you add half the coefficient of what? Of x. So x squared minus 6x plus half the coefficient of x is minus 3, and then you square equals to 18 plus half the coefficient of x minus 3, and then you square. Okay. And then now you complete the square. So it will be x minus 3, and then you square equals 18 plus what? 18 plus 9. So x minus 3 equals to. So x equals to what? 3 plus or minus the square root of what? Oh, this is the same as 3 plus or minus 3, the square root of what? 3. Any question up to that? So make sure I say to make the coefficient of x squared to be 1. So, okay, another tricky question was this, but it was so easy. It was so easy. It was really so easy. So you have that. So you have the graph already, which I drew it for you. So what is our h? I said our h, we are moving horizontally, right? We are moving horizontally. For our k, we are moving up and down. We are moving up and down. So if k is positive, then it is up. If k is negative, then it is down. If k is negative, if h is negative, then it is to the left. If h is positive, then it is to the right. So in this case, it is up here. So that means our k is what? And our h is what? It moves to the, our k should be what? Our h should be negative because we moved to the left. Now calculate the value of a. Calculate the value of a. So we have f of x equals to a x minus h square plus what? Plus a. We have our h here. So f of x equals to a x our h will be what? So it will now be plus what?
1.
Plus 1, and then you square, plus our k is what? Now, if our x is 0, when x is 0, what is x? So f, when x is 0, so it will be f of 0 equals to, so it means this is 0 equals to a, this is 0, so it will be 1 square plus, now if at the point, so you take the point, you take the point 1, 0, you take the point 1, 0, take the point 1 and 0, okay? Take the point 1 and 0. So that means our x is 1 and our y is what? 0. Our y is 0. So if the whole of this is 0, so that means our x is 1, so it will actually be f of 1, and this is actually y is 0. So f of 1 is the same as 0 equals to a, our, this is 1 plus 1, and then square plus 2, and this is equals to what? 0. So this is the same as 2a. So 2, which is what? 4. 4a plus 2 equals to what? 0. So when you take 2 to that side, so you get a equals to minus 1 over minus 1 over 2. Equals to minus 1. Now, if you have this one now, you already have a, you have h, and then you have our k there. So to solve this, then this basically our a is minus 1 over 2 x minus, so that means this is plus 1 square plus our k is what? K is 2 is greater than what? Greater than 0. Simply, you can multiply everywhere by what? -1, right? When you multiply everywhere by -1, negative here, then what changes? This one changes. So it will be 1 over 2 x plus 1 that square minus 2. This one will be now less by 1. And this one becomes what? If it is less than, this one is what? Now, without even doing anything here, you come and test the regions because you want the coordinates, the interval notations. You test the regions. You test this region, maybe -3. Basically, without even doing a lot of things, you know that at this region, which is, I know this is -2, and at this region, which is 1, it is equals to 0, right? And you know that 0 here is not less than 0. So it means we are not including the 2 regions. So if we are not including the 2 regions, so basically, and this region, and this one is and, so basically the answer will just be -2. We are not including -2, and we're not including 1 brackets. That was it. That was it. Is that clear? So we are not in, even if you come and test it, if you come and test this one, if you say -3, if you put -3 here, it will not be less than 0. If you put here -2, this one will be 0. This will be 0. And if this is 0, then that 0 is not less than 0. So it is not included in this. If you put 0 here, put 0, it will be -2, which is less than 0. So you can like that. So instead of you testing anything there, if you have a graph like this, so you just look at this region and this one, and then you just say, since this one is not included, then it means it is just the parenthesis. Then -2. Any question after that? The next one, we did a lot of these in a lot of sections. This example was in most of the sections, the application part of it. So 1 over x plus 1 over x plus 3 equals 1 over 2. Then you just solve the value of what? To simply solve the value of x, you multiply this by 2x, x plus 3. Again, this one, 2x, x plus 3. Again, here, 2x, x plus 3. So the first one, you cancel that and that, you get 2x plus 3. This one, you cancel that and that, you get plus 2x. And then finally, this, you cancel that and that, you get x, x plus 3. And then you simplify. You get a values of. Okay, finally, the distance. Distance, we say d is equal to the square root of what? X plus h square plus. Right? And this, oh, sorry, x1 minus 1. So x1 minus x2. D equals to the square root of x1 minus x2, then the square, plus x2, y2, y1 minus y2. Then you do it. So this is x1, y1, x2. So simplify. Again, this, finally, this one. You use the completing squares. So x squared, you group them, minus 4x plus y squared plus 10y. Use the completing squares. Take half of this, so x squared minus 4x plus minus 2 squared plus y squared plus 10y plus 5 equals 7 plus minus 2 square plus 5 square. So you get x minus 2 square plus y minus 10. So plus 5 square plus 5 square equals to what? I think it was 36. 6 square. Our r equals to what? 6. Our center is equals to what? Minus 2 and then you make sure you graph. So that was our third example. Was it very hard? It was tricky, right? But it was not hard. So I was expecting you guys to simplify, just simplify, and you remember the concept. Excuse me. Oh, okay. So let's look at the sample final. This final exam will not be very hard. It will actually be very, very simple, as long as you remember the concept. So before we go to this, so the final exam is, so the final exam will be Monday, 13. That's yes for PS. So 305. 305, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is here, this class here. And the exam is strictly in class. It's strictly in class. So the exam is 3 p.m. all the way to 5. 3 p.m. So you can come with this side, page of this side. You can write both sides. So you can come with one sheet of paper. You can write both sides. You can also come with your calculator. You can also come with your calculator. You don't have to come with your notes. So you just come with your one sheet of paper and a calculator. Don't even come with your phone. So that is what it is. Okay, so I'll give you the solutions here, but I will still post them in Moodle. These are the solutions for the sample exam, which is in so the exam will be easy, but it will be tricky. So make sure you know what you will be doing. So if you did the exam, then you can go check your solutions. If you already did this one, so you can go see how you did it. So you can go see how you did it. So most of these ones you found them in your first and second exam, third exam. So in the next 7 minutes, we can go through this. First question. So actually read from section 2.3 up to the last one. So the first question, I think I gave you some similar thing in your first exam. Was it the X? You still remember? So if it is the equation, if let's say this one was there, what could have been the equation there? Could have just been what? X equals to what? But if it is like this, then y equals to what? So if you're told find the horizontal, you need to know what is horizontal and what is vertical. So the horizontal here, the coordinates are -2 and 3. So y is now the horizontal is y is 3. So the equation there is what? Y equals to. When you come to this, rationalize. The next one, you need to remember the discriminant. So if b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, you have two solutions, which are what? b minus 4ac less than 0, you have two solutions, but they are what? B square minus 4ac is equals to 0, one solution, and it's what? One solution. Use it. You see this one, very specific, right? AC method. Use the AC method. So very specific. So okay, another thing is most of the questions which are 2 points in your final exam are 2 points. Then we just grade the answer. So if you don't get the correct answer, there is no partial credit there. You get a 0. You get a 0. So if you don't get a correct, like this one, if you don't get this x minus 2, 6x minus 5, then that becomes what? So you must get 2 points, you must get a correct answer. More than 2 points, you can get some partial grades. So if you don't know anything, please write something there. Don't leave it blank. If you leave it blank, you get a 0. If you leave it blank, you will definitely get a 0 because I cannot give you anything there. If it is more than 2. So, but if it is less than, if it is 2, then you can still leave it blank. because you still get a 0 if you don't get a correct answer. Okay, this. Find the restricted value of the rational expression. The restricted value. That means this one should be what? 0. If it is restricted, it means this is equal to 0. So you need to get the values of x. The values of x. I know we did not use this term in our notes. Hey. This one is what? They are what? Parallel, right? So if they are parallel, what did we say if they are parallel? It's, I wrote them over here. There's a day I wrote them here, if you still recall. When it is parallel, when it is perpendicular, like that. Is it consistent, inconsistent? So you have all this in you notes. Again, this one, when you find the square root here, then this one should be plus or minus. So you need to call that. You see, the final exam will be a little bit easier than what we were doing now. So again, this one, please remember this. If this is minus, then you do what? You switch. If you switch, it becomes what? Positive. It becomes positive. Then completely factor. Now, again, say remember this one is what we did. And then next page, this one. So this, you get the values of x and y. This one, solve this, and then finally this. So I wish you all the best in final exam. So make sure you study very well. I'm free over the weekend, so you can write an email to me if you have any questions. What's that?
We're having class before the exam.
No. There is
Okay.
no.
Just the exam.
Yeah.